Yes, welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing, and we're brewing 2 split batches at almost the exact same time. And I'm gonna focus on this one for this video, otherwise it would make the video really long. So yeah, we're just gonna focus on this one over here. And that'll make life a little easier to follow. And I'm not even gonna really tell you what we're brewing. I know you're going, what? No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna tell you all the details because this is gonna be an experiment and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I think the taste testing is gonna be the most fun. And most people watch the brewing videos, don't actually watch the taste testing. I don't understand that. But we're gonna have a lot of fun. Don't forget, like, subscribe, come on. Cost you nothing, definitely appreciate it. The majority of you don't hit subscribe. I'm not asking for notifications, those annoy me, I hate those. Just hit the little, I think they moved the subscribe. Double check that you're still subscribed. I've had some issues with that. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you. It helps the channel more than you imagine. I definitely appreciate it. You know, call it a Christmas, give me a Christmas gift. Hit this, cool, appreciate it. Okay, well, we can call this the mystery IPA. We can call it a kinda cold IPA. We can call it a Franken IPA since it's around Halloween, even though it's not gonna be Halloween by the time I probably publish this video. But yeah, I'm looking at my rye thinking I didn't get a good crush on it because, not because I didn't have the grain crusher at the right setting, but because my drill was set at high speed and it kind of blew through it, and I'm like, the majority seems crushed. It just, and a lot of it doesn't look crushed. I touch it, it breaks apart. So that's a perfect crush. But yeah, I'll deal with it later. I'll make sure my drill isn't set at high speed next time. But I'm calling it, like I said, the mystery IPA, Franken IPA, basing it on an American IPA, shooting for a 7%er. Just, you know, I find that to be the magic point for really having the flavors stand out without being too strong. So what do we got? It's all pre-crushed. I mean, we're ready to go. And I'm kicking it old school. I am using my first Anvil that I ever bought. Yes, we will be using the small batch adapter. And yes, the famous ring. This is kind of a tribute out there to all the people who have older Anvil systems, and I know I've seen a few with the control panel on the bottom still. That would drive me a little nuts, not so much up here, but if I had to, you know, lean down on the floor because I was brewing on the floor. But yeah, we're using the ring. Yeah, I did buy the feet for that thing. Did I ever install them? Nah. If you have the ring, just make sure it's stretched correctly. Use a little aquarium tubing. It's kind of like, I don't know, would you, tacky? It kind of, you know, it kind of grips a little bit. Mine's not gripping like it used to, but hey, that's okay. Not a big deal. Let's go over the grain bill. Okay, and we're gonna mash in at 148 because I want this bad boy to be a little on the lighter side, you know what I'm saying? And knowing it around 7%, I debated between the 150 and 148. It's not a huge difference, so we're gonna stick to the 148 for, yes, 75 minutes, and then we're gonna mash out at 168 for 10 minutes, but hey. First, we got 12 pounds, 6 ounces of pale malt. And I'll kind of stand over here so maybe we can put all the, I've had a problem where I stand and where I put the information. And as usual, I will also have the conversions to the metric. I always do that. I mean, yeah, need to have that. We got 1.5 pounds of rye. Yeah, I'm going rye. I want rye. I want to taste the rye. I'm not going to do rye over there, so you can watch that later. Carapils, half pound of dark Munich malt. I'm really trying to get away from a lot of the caramel malts. Sometimes I get that kind of odd taste that, you know, caramel malts don't seem to age as well, and I don't always blow through a keg, so the Munich seem to hold better, so I'm going with the dark Munich to kind of give a little bit of color to it. Really didn't care about the color, but I figure the flavor will be nice. 3.2 ounces of acid malt based on some calculations that should get my acidity just where I want it, or at least, you know, my pH. Now we got a 1 ounce Columbus at 20 minutes, and that's going to be a 16.2%, big guy. Then we have no more hop additions. We have a whirlpool, 10-minute whirlpool, and in that 10-minute whirlpool, I'm gonna be adding 6 ounces, ready? 2 ounces of Amarillo, 2 ounces of Columbus, and 2 ounces of Mosaic. I'm trying to get away from the Citra, Cascade, Chinook, things that I love using, and you know, I've had beers with Amarillo, Columbus, and Mosaic, or 2 of those 3, and they're always amazing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then for the yeast, that's the secret. What I will tell you is we're going to ferment this beer into 2 3-gallon batches, because this is a 6-gallon batch, and we're going to ferment it at 20 degrees of separation. Yeah. One is going to be around 55 degrees and one's going to be right around the 75 degree mark. We're either going to have 2 completely different beers, or we're going to have some really bad off flavors. But I don't know. We'll see. I came up with this on my own. Then I went out and I saw that Brewlosophy did something like this, but the separation was, I think, like 10 degrees. And I'm like, no. Let's push this bad boy. Let's push it as far as we can go. And I can probably get away with 25 degrees of separation, but I think 20 degrees is more than enough. So it's the yeast. The yeast, it's all about the yeast. And we'll talk about that probably in the next video. I may mention it in this video. I'm not sure yet. But yeah. So we got to get this heated up and get mashed in, get our brewing salts, which of course when I go to add those, I'll put them up on the screen. And let's get brewing. And it's a 90-minute boil. Yes, not 60, 90. And I'm not going to use the steam condenser. Like I said, I'm kicking it old school. I want to make sure I can relate to everybody out there. And there's enough Anvil brewers out there with the older systems that are just jamming out. So let's get brewing. Okay, let's go ahead and get our brewing salts in here. I had to adjust the water and the brewing salts because I almost forgot we're doing 6 gallons and I had it measured out for 5. So, okay, let's get the grain basket in here. Let's go ahead and get mashed in. I got a fair amount of rice hulls in here. It's just because I didn't have that much left, so I just threw them all in here. Rock on, you know what I'm saying? And as usual, we'll speed this part up. I think that looks good. Okay, we're gonna be here for 75 minutes and then we'll kick it up to 168. Okay, I just kicked this up to 168. Once we get there, we'll be there for 10 minutes. We'll sparge out after that. So, keep brewing. Okay, so here we go. For anybody who has the ring, this is the ring. Can be a little tricky, but doesn't have to be too hard. You just have to have a glove or something to protect you from the heat. You get this nice and snug, just opposite. There we go. And you got to get it in. Okay, I got that side down, I got this side down, and then get a good stance over the top of it. And don't let it ride up on you. It tried. It definitely tried. And then we'll let that drain for a little while, and then we'll pour the sparge water over it and let it sit for a lot longer because I gotta get that one going because this is gonna take longer towards the end. Time to sparge. I always feel like saying time for the donuts. Okay, I've gone ahead, kicked it up to 212. It's at 174 and climbing. Once we get up to a boil, we'll rock and roll. And we'll be there for 90 minutes. We've got a 20-minute and a 10-minute edition. The 20-minute will be a hop edition, which I need to adjust because I couldn't find some of my hops because I forgot to remove them from my inventory. I found the same hops, but instead they're Lupo Max, so yeah, I got to adjust a little. And yeah, then the last 10 minutes, of course, are normal additions, and then we'll have a 10-minute whirlpool at the end. Definitely getting close for a boil over. Very, very close. So go ahead and get this stirred in. This is very frothy and it's a little more liquid than normal since we're doing 6 gallons. So I'm not gonna even waste my time. Just gonna go straight in here. It's starting to break. 1, 2. I know it's supposed to be like 1 or 2, but it always does 3, so I just do 3. Okay, let's get this stirred up and broke. Let's break this bad boy. I think we're good. Keep starting to foam and break, foam and break. There we go, there we go. We got a nice break. Looking beautiful. Looking beautiful. Okay, we'll be here for a total of 90 minutes. I've already opened the windows, I got the dehumidifier going, I got everything going. Don't have the fan going, need to do that next. Okay, there we go. We've got 10 more minutes before we have to add the Whirlfloc tablet, yeast nutrient, and then 20 minutes before we chill her on down and get ready to do the whirlpooling. So, got 1 ounce of Columbus here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a hop spider in here. Put that bad boy in there. Drop that in there. Looks good. find my spoon and I'll give it a little stir just to get some agitation going, to increase contact. Okay, so we got about 11 minutes left in the boil. Probably 10 by the time I open my mouth. A little bit of whirlflock stuck in there. I'm gonna go ahead, grab my little step ladder over here and give it a nice little stir. I don't know what happened to this thing. I dropped it. Yeah, I got 13 seconds, but I haven't heard any audio out of it in a while. Got a little froth up from all that whirlflock yeast nutrient, but that's okay. It's going right back down. There we go. Looking okay. Yep. Didn't hear a thing. Don't know what's going on. So, got about 9 minutes, 46 seconds before the end of the boil, and we'll cool it down a little bit, and then we'll do the whirlpool with a crap load of hops. And how I'm gonna do that with the jaded in there and everything else, I don't know. I'm still debating. It's not gonna be easy. I'm not sure what I wanna do. I'll figure it out. I'm not too worried. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. I got 9 seconds, probably 0 seconds right now. And yeah, 0, clear. Okay, I've got 6 ounces, that's right. Got 2 ounces of Amarillo Lupomax, 2 ounces of Mosaic, and 2 ounces of Columbus Lupomax, which I'll have to find the stupid little lid. I think I have one left. There you go, hot matter on my finger from something previously I was cleaning. And yeah, we'll clean that up later. Okay, so here we go. Let's kill the heat. Get power. Let that drip for a bit. I'm not really worried. We're gonna drop this in just enough to drop the temperature down to about 170 and to sterilize it a bit, even though I already cleaned it again. Let's see where our temperature is now. We're at 106 or 206, 205, 206. Yeah, we're gonna have to kick this on just for a second. This jaded still has dropped the temperature very, very, very quickly. Okay, we're at 184. Let's do it again. We should be hitting 174, 170. Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're fine. Okay, put this bad boy in there. I don't know if that's gonna get low enough. You know what? Got a trick. Put the jaded Scylla back in, we just don't run any cold water through it. And that will displace the liquid up towards the top. Yes, that will work. Okay. There's 2 ounces. There's 2 ounces. There's 2 ounces. We're gonna pick this up. Move it over here. I'm gonna dump all that lovely wort that fell out. Ow! I'm gonna hit some metal with the back of our hand. Scream a little. The little girl. Okay. Another way to get some agitation going is to get the pump going again. I know you're thinking I should just drop the hops in there. I'm trying for a little cleaner IPA, although I have a feeling that me doing this is gonna push most of it out of the filter anyways. So, it's all good. I'll be here for another 9 minutes. Been a long day brewing that stout and brewing this IPA. Yeah, my back is killing me, and I do mean killing me. It feels like my spine just wants to collapse. But, okay, my boil off was a little higher than expected. Probably lost some to here, but that really means that I probably exceeded my brewhouse efficiency by a little bit. But after the loss of liquid, adding liquid, and doing everything to get it exactly at the right gravity that I expected and the right liquid. So I basically, to get the exact expected runoff and the expected gravity, I'm good. I'm right at 72% for estimated. Mash efficiency is about 75.9. Estimated brewhouse efficiency is 72%, probably a hair better, but I'm good. I'm good. I did put clarity Ferm in here already. I've got the tilt hydrometers in here. And this one is labeled 75, this is labeled 55. Yeah. Okay, so if you didn't see the stout video, or if I push this one out before I do the stout video, I don't know if you've heard of Franken Yeast or Franken Stout Yeast from White Labs. They essentially put 96, hence the reason it's WLP096. They took 96 of their different yeasts and just threw it all in the same container. Called it a day. Yeah, there's 96 different yeasts in here. That's insane. And I reached out to them because I started saying, you know what? I should brew the same beer, cut it in half, and maybe run one, say about 70 and one at 60. I started doing some research. Looks like Brewlosophy did something like that already. Okay, let's see if we can kick it up a notch. We're gonna go to 55. White Lab said 60, but there's some lager yeast in there. And over here, we're gonna go to 75. Anything over 75, he's concerned with off flavors. So we're either gonna get something that doesn't ferment and something that has tons of off flavors, or we're gonna get somewhere in the middle, or we're gonna get a really nice cold IPA, and we're gonna get something that's kind of like a Belgian IPA from the same yeast, or same 96, the Franken Yeast. Yeah, I don't know really where we're gonna end up. I know what I'm going for, I know what I'm attempting to get, but what am I gonna get? I don't know. I'm also debating between about 3 to 4 ounces. I'll probably do 3. That gives me 6 ounces of dry hops for a 6-gallon batch, or 5 for 5. So I'll probably drop in 3. I'll do the same. I'll just drop in the exact same ones that I put in here, the Amarillo, Columbus, and Mosaic as a dry hop for 5 days once the fermentation is almost done. Let me grab the yeast. And I've got a couple other things going on here that are kind of special. Now, while I was doing all that, did you hit the subscribe? Double check, make sure it's still, yeah. Hit the like, cost you nothing, come on. Call it my Christmas present. I appreciate it, helps the channel massively. There we go, there's our magnet. Okay, so what I did with the yeast, and I've seen this before as a recommended thing, is I started with 8 ounces in each, with 1 packet and 4 vials at 8 ounces, using proper starter, 16 ounce plus 16 ounce of distilled water, to come up with 32 ounce total. And then what I did is I fed more to it up until 48 hours. So for 48 hours, this has been getting fed more and more sugar, so it can just keep growing and growing and growing and growing and reproducing, really not growing, but reproducing. So yeah, in this case, I haven't published the stop video yet, or you haven't seen it. It's got a lot going on. I mean, I can tell you I'm smelling Golden Ale Belgian. I can definitely smell some like wheat type yeasts that would be German yeast. That's what I think of when I smell German yeast. I think of wheat, and possibly some lagers, maybe a little British. There's just a lot going on. It's like a party in there, you know, 96 different yeasts. They're probably having a good time. I'm gonna go ahead, pitch the yeast, get the 55 degree cooled down, get the 75 cooled a tiny bit, just so we're at 75. And we'll get, whoop, I'm dropping things, not a big deal. If I can get the magnet, it'll be a good start. There we go. Yeah, it's a reasonably large yeast starter. I could have tried to just pitch direct from here and stress it out a little, which, you know, could have even given us more craziness, but I didn't. Sorry. Had to draw the line somewhere. I'm kind of terrified that this may or may not even reproduce or even go well, so I'm not saying I'm terrified. I'd just be disappointed, because otherwise it'd be better to enjoy it, especially if I had a Belgian rye IPA and then maybe a cold rye IPA. Dude, I'd be happy with both, very much. I don't know which one I'd prefer. Probably the Belgian, but I don't know. Might be a matter of how I feel that day. That's one of the reasons people go, why do you have so many different beers in your fridge? Why do you have so many beers on tap? Well, if I want a beer or cider or something, I don't always know what I want until I come home and I'm like, you know what? That sounds really good. Or someone's like, hey, I brought food home. I'm like, ooh, that sounds good with that. Like if you're bringing spicy food, I'm doing IPA, just the way it is. If you're doing something a little more, you know, laid back, mellow, I might just do a lager. If you're doing some light Mexican, definitely a lime lager. And if you're doing something like, you know, maybe a good roast beef, maybe a stout. Or I haven't had a stout on tap in a while, so it'd be my Schwarzbier, or my black lager international, yeah, or dark international lager is what it's really called. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get the coils in here, get this all hooked up. I've got, oh, and I've got this. I bought these late last night and they promised them by 11 a.m. and Amazon never delivers by 11 a.m. They did this time. So I'm gonna wrap this around this one, use some painter's tape, wherever the heck I put it, to adhere it. And that'll help me maintain that 75 degrees Fahrenheit temperature for fermentation. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna plug that in. Hopefully I don't start any fires. It'll be a good thing. And I'll let you know how well this does. It got really good reviews, and I'll leave links for everything down below. But you know, like I said, I'll let you know how that goes. Ask it before you order, and I'll tell you good, bad, and different. So cheers. Don't forget, you know, like, subscribe. Oh, that's right, you did it earlier. I appreciate that. Thank you. Cheers.